G'day ladies and germs, Connor here from Sudobs Media, back with another video, and today we're doing my full review of the Oppo Find X Pro. So without further ado, hit the like button and the subscribe button and let's get stuck into the video. Let's go. Alright, now Oppo are making lots of big claims about this phone, lots of big claims about the camera, big claims about the battery life. So in my review, I've gone through and looked at the points that they're making claims about to see where I think they're landing, in a sort of roundabout way. The first thing I want to talk about is the build and design of this phone. It absolutely looks amazing. And you know why? It's made from ceramic. I mean, check this out. Does that look good or what? Ceramic. And the camera humps on this thing are nice, smooth, gentle curves that lead up to the camera lenses. It's really nice, really different compared to like your Galaxies and your Google phones where there's these hard edges leading up to the camera lenses. So I really like the design. It's got a really good weight to it. I really do like the feel of it. The front display is amazing. More on that later, but it ranges up to 120 Hz refresh rate. USB Type-C and speakers top and bottom. Now, no headphone jack, so that's a slight little step back in my opinion, and you do get a headphone jack on some of their smaller, lower end devices, so it would be nice to get it on these really good high-end phones. Like, maybe we shouldn't lose features on the high end, maybe you should lose them on the low end maybe, but in any case, it's a really well designed phone. I really do like it. Nice in the hand feel. It is actually a lot bigger than it actually feels in the hand, so that's something that Oppo are doing right there, just with those curved sides all the way around, and like I said, that ceramic look, feel and design just looks amazing. Build and design, how could I forget? It comes with IP68 as well, which I think is pretty standard these days to have that, so it's really good that we do have it. No fear about being outside in the water. You could also drop it in the pool, general sort of splish splash, it's going to be fine. Wouldn't recommend salt water, but if you do fall into salt water, it's still going to survive that as well. Now, I've got my notes here. See, I've done my research, I've got my notes, I've got their website up, and I'm going to talk about my experience, like I said, where they're making claims. So the first thing is they got the Hasselblad partnership going on, and you can never fault Hasselblad. I mean, they're amazing, and they've come into the party here with their lenses, and then you've got the Sony sensors. So a bit of a mixed breed here of camera setup, but a good one nonetheless. Now they've got the Mari Silicon, which is powering what they call this ultra night vision for video, 4K video, ultra night vision, and I've got to say it looks pretty impressive. Now, I am the first one to put down a smartphone for their night photos and night video. Generally, they look like garbage. But on their higher end phones, we're certainly starting to see leaps and bounds forward with this technology. And I really do like what Oppo have got going on here. And just to have a look at some of this footage here, this is shot in low light with no studio lighting. And you can see the colors are really rich, really vibrant, and it really pops and it looks amazing. Now, on a lot of other phones, it would crumble in this sort of lighting. So really, really impressive. Now, another area where they're making big claims is when it comes to the stabilization, and they're saying it's SLR-like 5-axis stabilization. You might be thinking, now what does all that mean? And I tell you what it means is that you actually don't need to carry around one of those little phone stabilizers anymore. You're going to get ultra steady video from your smartphone with the Oppo Find X5. So those little DJI things, you don't need to spend an extra $250 on a gimbal for your smartphone. Chuck those in the bin, just use your hands, handheld, run and gun, you're gonna get some really stable footage, and that's also gonna translate into your photography as well. Now, let me bring up the camera specs, have a look here, look. Now, we are looking at a 50 megapixel wide angle sensor from Sony. This is giving you that ultra wide field of view, really good for your selfies and your vlogging, that sort of thing. Amazing. 50 megapixels, and you've got an aperture of f2.2, which is not very deep in smartphone terms, but you're still going to get some really nice photography here, and there is the options there to shoot in portrait mode while shooting video as well. So you're going to get those nice blurry backgrounds, you're going to get those portrait shots. It's definitely going to do the trick. The main sensor is also a 50 megapixel wide angle lens. So you've got 50 megapixel ultra wide, 50 megapixel wide angle, and then you have a 13 megapixel telephoto zoom. Now, like I say with most smartphones, telephoto, it's sort of not quite there yet when it comes to smartphones, but this is up there with like your Pixel phones, your Galaxy phones, and your iPhone. That telephoto lens is going to give you some really good pictures. If you can put it on a tripod, you're going to get as good as any other phone. I think with Hasselblad, Sony, and Oppo all working together here, you're getting a really solid camera experience. Your photography is definitely going to be up there with anyone else with any other flagship phone. The colors look really good in camera as well. I think not overly saturated, although you can choose to overly saturate, and the portrait modes can make any ugly person like me look beautiful. Another area that I think is really worth mentioning is the battery life, the battery and the charging features of all Oppo phones, but in particular the Oppo Find X5 Pro. It's got 80 watt fast charging. I'm talking 50% charged in 13 minutes. You're not going to get that with any of the other flagships. You're only going to get that in this Oppo area where you've got that super VOOC charging. Fortunately, the battery lasts a long time, but it doesn't really matter. If you can charge it 50% in 12 or 13 minutes, it doesn't matter how long your battery lasts after that point, because topping out is just incredibly fast. But for most of you, you're probably going to get a day and a half out of this, maybe 2 days. Now, I'm thinking if you're going to get this phone, you're probably a power user and you're going to be happy with this phone. But if you're a really heavy power user, you'll probably just get the 1 day, but 1 full day. And if you do manage to run short, super VOOC charging, 50%, 12 minutes, you're off again. Now, to go to the next level of battery life, battery charging, and battery features, we also have 50 watt fast wireless charging from Oppo. And here's the Oppo charger, which is included in this little kit that I got. Thank you, Oppo. I really love that. We're talking 100% charged in 47 minutes through wireless charging. That's incredible. That's really incredible. I don't know any other phone that can do that quickly. I mean, look at the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Just garbage when it comes to fast charging. It might as well just be plug-in charging. Even then, I don't think you're going to be as fast as the 50 watt wireless charging on the Oppo phone. So kudos to Oppo for just kicking it, absolutely smashing it out of the park when it comes to fast charging, battery life, and battery features. I love it. Amazing. Something that I really like is 12 gigs of RAM on today's smartphones. Now, they do say you don't need 12 gigs of RAM, but I do find when you do have 12 gigs of RAM, everything's better. And I'm not the scientist here, so I can't really explain it. But with the lower end devices with less RAM, I do find that the experience is inferior. So 12 gigs of RAM here, minimum 256 gigabytes of storage, absolutely ripper with that Snapdragon 8th Gen 1 processor. I'm getting blazing speeds. Now, when it comes to your Geekbenches and stuff like that, it's probably right up there, but it's not the day-to-day experience. For me, the day-to-day experience is flawless. It's just super smooth with that 120 Hz refresh rate. Whether you're gaming or watching content or just scrolling through a website, everything is fast. And you get a little jitter here and there, but generally that's going to be website dependent or even game dependent, not necessarily the hardware within the phone. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It's up there. Like, there's so many phones out there that do struggle when it comes to performance, but I think the Oppo Find X5 Pro is up there with like the Tensor chip and the Google 6 Pro, the Samsung S22 is easy on the same playing field as that with this 4nm processor. What does that mean? Super fast. That's what that means. Now, I was talking earlier about the display and 120 Hz refresh rate, and that also leads to this amazing experience of using the device. It actually makes the phone feel like it's performing better than what it is because of that smooth feeling of 120 Hz. But you also have here, it's a Quad HD display, so 4K display, 6.7 inches in diameter, 120 Hz refresh rate, and 525 PPI, which is quite high. A lot of big players have sort of pulled back a bit from PPI, but I think it makes a difference and everything can look spectacular. And it is AMOLED with Gorilla Glass Victus. Now out of the box, we have the latest software from Oppo, which is ColorOS version 12, and it is super fast. I haven't had any issues there. It's got the great Oppo features that I do love. A lot more customizable than say your Google Pixel 6 Pro. Maybe not as customizable as a Galaxy phone, but I think they've got the mix just right. And as I always say, it's its own flavor now. ColorOS is really killing it and offering a lot of features and gimmicks and stuff like that for you to be able to really customize your phone with live wallpapers and themes and all that sort of thing. Icons, it's just there for you to play with. Then you can also download your favorite launcher, install it, and have a field day. So I think the software, the performance, the battery life, the camera, the build and design all give you a really premium feel here. I think anyone's going to be happy with this purchase if you do get it. Really appreciate you all watching this video. Give me a like and a thumbs up and a subscribe if you can. Really appreciate you helping the channel to grow. Everyone, you are awesome and thanks for stopping by. Catch you in the next video. Check you.